Good evening to everyone. Okay, we today going to discuss about the OSH, our second assignment. Okay, based on your knowledge, what is the OSH meaning?
Based on our knowledge, I think OSH means safety on our workers or work in industry or everywhere. I think
Syahmi.
Okay, Assalamualaikum. For me, I think OSH, which means Occupational Safety and Health, is a discipline dealing with the prevention of work-related injuries and disease, as well as the protection and promotion of the health of workers. That's for me.
Is basically is the learning process about hazard and risk reduction is at the root of the more sophisticated principles governing today's or which is OSH. In present times, the need to master a galloping industrialization and its demand for highly and inherently dangerous energy sources, such as the use of nuclear energy, transport systems, and increasingly complex technologies has led to the development of much more sophisticated risk assessment and management methods.
Okay, OSH, Occupational Safety and Health, OSH, is a discipline dealing with the prevention of work-related injuries and disease as well as the protection and promotion of the health of workers. It aims at the improvement of working conditions and environment. Occupational health in details the promotion and the maintenance of the highest degree of physical and mental health and social well-being of workers in all occupations. In the context, the anticipation, recognition, evaluation, and control of hazard arising in or from the workplace that could impair the health and well-being of workers are the fundamental principles of a process governing occupational risk assessment and management. The possible impacts on the surrounding community and the general environment should be also taken into account. So that is the meaning of OSH. Okay, second question, please.
so. I want to ask you, Kamal, what the meaning of plan, do, check, and act based on your knowledge?
Plan, do, check and act. The main cycle PDCA is designed in the 1950 to monitor business performance of the continual basis. Plan is involved the setting of an OSH policy, planning including the allocation of resource, provision of skill, and organization of the system, hazard identification and risk assessment. Do is step refer to actual implementation of operation of the OSH programs. Check is a step devoted to measuring both the active and reactive performance and of the program. Finally, the act is meaning step close to the cycle with a review of the system in the context of continual improvement and the printing of the system for the next cycle. That's all.
Thank you, Kamal. Thank you. So, when say NOSHMS is logical toolbox that is flexible and can be tailored to the size and activity of the organization and be focused on general or specific hazard and risk associated with such activity.
Okay.
So what is the product process where hazard and risk are easy to identify? When say NOSHMS is logical toolbox that is flexible and can be tailored to the size and activity of the organization and be focused on general or specific hazard and risk associated with such activity.
Okay.
So what is the product process where hazard and risk are easy to identify to multiply the hazard industry such mining, nuclear power, chemical, where. So Hasif, can you tell the demo point?
So the OSHMS
Betul tu Zali.
can approach ensures that firstly is the implementation of preventive and protective measures is carried out in an efficient and coherent manner. Second, pertinent policies are established. Third is commitments are made. And fourth, all the workplace elements to assess hazards and risks are considered. And lastly is management and workers are involved in the process at their level of responsibility. That's all from me.
Thank you.
Irfan, can I ask you something? Based on the ILO, which is International Labour Organization guidelines on OSHMS, can you tell me the 5 guidelines that you know?
Okay, thank you, Kamal. So the guideline from the ILO guideline on OSHMS to continual improving circle is the first policy, which OSH policy worker participation. Second is organizing. I'm sorry. Responsible and accountability, competency and training, OSH, document and communication. So the third is planning and implementation. This means review system planning, development and implementation, OSH objective is prevention. And the fourth is evaluation, that is performance monitoring and measure investigation, audit, management review. So the last is action for improvement, mean preventive and corrective action, continual improving the industry. Thank you.
Thank you, Irfan, for the answer.
So we continue with the second part, which is the Occupational Safety and Health Act in Malaysia and its salient features. So for the introduction, I will tell you about the Occupational Safety and Health Act 1994. So for introduction, the Occupational Safety and Health Act 1994 or Act 514 provides the legislative framework for the safety, health and welfare among all Malaysian workforce. The principle is to prevent and protect the workers against hazards and risks in connection with their activities at work. It requires all companies to establish a document which is number 1, safety and health policy. Second is duties of the employer, employees and the safety and health officer. Third, the safety and health commit of companies, and the last one is occupational safety and health inspection and officers.
So
Thank you.
the first question I want to ask you, Kamal. What is the provisions of the federal constitution actually?
Okay, the provision of the federal constitution. The Federal Constitution of Malaysia is a supreme law of Malaysia. The provision of the Federal Constitution. The Federal Constitution of Malaysia is a supreme law of Malaysia. The constitutional rights under the Federal Constitution of Malaysia encompass the right to livelihood under Article 5 of the Constitution, and within the spirit and intent of the Article 8 that all persons are equal before the law and entitled to equal protection of the law. So that's my answer for the provision of the Federal Constitution.
Okay, for the next question, I will ask Hasif. So, Hasif, what is the main legislation on occupational safety and health? OSHE.
Okay, the main legislation directly related to the occupational safety and health matter for the industry are the Occupational Safety and Health Act 1994 and the Factories and Machinery Act 1967, which is FMA 1967, which are enforced by the Department of Occupational Safety and Health, which is DOSH, under the Ministry of Human Resources. The Department of Occupational Safety and Health, DOSH, is the government agency mainly for the administering, managing, and enforcing legislation related to the occupational safety and health, OSHE. In this country, with the vision to cultivate OSHE culture in every workplace and to make every job and task safe and health for the worker. That's all from me.
Yuba, I want to ask you what the regulation and order for the OSH.
Thanks, Irfan. For the regulation and the order made under the Act are the first is occupational safety and health. Employers have safety and health general policy statements, exception, regulation, year 1995. Second, occupational safety and health, control of industrial major accident hazards, regulations, year 1996. Third is occupational safety and health, safety and health committee, regulational, year 1996. Fourth is occupational safety and health, classification, labeling of safety data of hazardous chemicals regulations, year 2013. Fifth is occupational safety and health, safety and health officer regulations, year 1997. Sixth is prescriptions of use of substance regulation, year 1999. Seventh is use and standards of expose of chemical and hazards to health regulations, year 2000. The eighth is notificational of accident, dangerous occurrence, occupation poisoning, and occupational disease regulations, year 2004. Ninth is safety and health officer orders, year 1997. Prescriptions of use of substance order, year 1997. Okay, that's all from me, Irfan. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Hello, Kamal. Okay, the question I want to ask is, what is the codes of practice regulated by OSHE?
Okay. List of code of practice regulated by OSHE. First, chemical management. Chemical management have two part. First, industry code of practice on chemical classification and hazard communication, 2014. Second, industry code of practice indoor air quality, 2010. Next, industrial hygiene. Industry Code of Practice for Safe Working in a Confined Space, 2010. Occupational Health Code of Practice on Prevention and Eradication of Drug, Alcohol and Substance Abuse in the Workplace, 2005. Code of Practice of Prevention and Management of HIV/AIDS at the Workplace, 2001. The last one, Transportation. Code of Practice for Road Transport Activities, 2010. And Code of Practice of Safety, Health and Environment for Transportation Sector, SHE Code, 2007.
So, Irfan, I want to ask you about what is the Factories and Machinery Act for 1967, which is Act 139.
Okay, thank you, Hasif. So what about Factory and Machinery Act 1967, Act 139 is another important regulation forced by the Department of Occupational Safety and Health in the Factory and Machinery Act 1967, which was enacted to supersede the Machinery Ordinance in 1953 of the state of Malaya. There are there are 16 regulations provided under the Act. So the Act contains the following regulation. The first is factory and machinery, steam boiler, and on-fire pressure vessel unmanned regulation 2005. Second is factory and machinery, electric passenger and good lift regulation 1970. Factory and machinery is fishing of machine and safety regulation 1970. Uh, Factory and machinery person in charge regulation 1970. The fifth, factory and machinery safety and health, safety, health and welfare regulation 1970. Factory machinery administration regulation 1970. Factory and machinery uh, certificate certificate of competence examining 1970. Factory and machine notificate and certificate of fitness and inspection regulation 2004. Number 9 is factory and machinery regulation 1984. So the time is factory and machinery asbestos process regulation 1986. Factory and machinery building operation and workers of engineering constructions safety regulation 1986. Factory number 5, factory and machinery noise exposure regulation 1989. Factory and machinery mineral dust regulation 1989. Factory and machinery examination of to petroleum national product Order 2013. Number 15 is factory and machinery special scheme of inspection is based on inspection regulation 2014. Factory and machinery examination to gratify or fitness or hosting machine order 2015. So that's all about act content the factor and machinery at 1967. Thank you. For Syahmi, I want to ask you about the rule of authority on OSHE. What is?
So I will tell you about the role of authority for OSHE. So basically first, Department of Occupational Safety and Health, which is DOSH, a government department under the Ministry of Human Resource Malaysia, is responsible for truth enforcement and promotional works. Those employers, self-employed persons, manufacturers, designs, importers, suppliers, and employees to always practice safety and health work culture and always comply with the existing legislation, guidelines, and code of practice in relation to occupational safety and health. So DOSH also evaluate and review the legislation, policies, guidelines, and code of practice from time to time pertaining to occupational safety, health, and welfare as a basis in ensuring safety and health at work. DOSH is also a secretariat to National Council for Occupational Safety and Health, a council established under Section 8 of the Occupational Safety and Health Act 1994. So lastly, the National Council for Occupational Safety and Health shall have the power to do all things expedient or reasonably necessary for all incidental to the carrying out of the object of this act. So that's all for me. So I will ask for the last question to Muhammad Nurifan. So Muhammad Nurifan, I will ask you of the implementation of OSHE.
Okay, thank you, Shafi. So, but you mentioned on OSHE, right? So the first is all employers with more than 5 employees are required by legislation to arrange a written safety and health policy. So the objective is to demonstrate the commitment of the employer or company to ensure safety and health in the workplace. So second is safety and health policy must be taken into account when making decision or performing work activity of the organization. The third is the law also specify the general duty of employers, self-employed person, manufacturing, design, and supplier, employees, the establishment of the safety and health community, the appointment of safety and health officer, uh, the enforcement, investigation, and offensive rule of thank you. That's all. So based on you guys' knowledge and what is OSH to you guys?
Okay, for me, I think this OSHE is a good system which it is established the workers' safety and health, and also it's also manage the system for the workers to do their works safely and controllable. Thank you.
We have discussed a lot of things about the OSH and the act about uh, the factory and machinery and the legal regulations. From that's all we have discussed about. Thank you for everyone.